Hi, everyone, and welcome to our EdTech Tuesdays. Today, we're going to be digging into engaging, organizing, and teaching using a classroom management tool that we like to call Classroomscreen. And with us today, we have Ms. J. Martinez, and also with us, Lori de los Santos, that is going to be joining us shortly to showcase this tool and how they're using it in Ford Elementary for their blended learning time. So the objective for this session is that teachers will learn how to use classroomscreen.com to organize lesson, manage time, and increase student engagement through visual classroom management tools, specifically classroomscreen.com. If you haven't registered, please take this time to do so by registering to session 405-351 and checking in by using code PSJA Tech. Mute your mic, ask questions in the chat. Myself and Debbie will be here to support your questions. And let's start with Classroomscreen. Ms. Martinez, you feel free to share. I'll stop sharing so you can share your way.
Somehow or other, I'm thinking I have a little bit of problem here.
You got it. Something is about to show.
Okay. Do you see my screen, classroom screen?
We're about to. It's a little bit slow, so give me just 1 second. I don't see it yet. Does anybody else see it?
Not yet.
Not yet. It should show. It might be the internet that is running a little slow. If you maybe want to try to stop sharing and reshare again.
Okay, let me try that again.
Perfect. We see it now.
Okay, so first of all, my name is Miss Josie Martinez, and I'm a second grade teacher here at Henry Ford. A couple of years ago, Ms. de los Santos, our CLL, and our Jack of all trades introduced this program this app to us. And I really didn't pay attention to it, but I was looking for something that would put all of my slides together. We had, the science department giving us slides, the reading language arts department, the math department, and I wanted everything together in one place. And I just kept looking and looking, and I finally, we went back to Classroomscreen, and I love this program. And it's an app. It's a program that I go to all the time. I have the paid version. I don't have the free one. I tried the free one, and it works just as well as the paid one. The only difference with it is that you lose your work. So if I wanted to work on something Sunday night for the whole week, it would be gone by Monday morning. This way I can set up my whole week in advance of my slides. I have everything ready. So let me just show you what my slides look like today for, just for my regular day. And I have my workspace right here on the left-hand side. And these are some of the first ones that I did last year, and then I deleted a whole bunch, but now I have them by weeks. And I can add a workspace, and a workspace, I have them by the week. So this was this week today, and I label on the bottom every slide. So right here, these are some of the tools that it has. I can put the date on it, and I can lock it so that it's on every slide, and I can navigate it down here at the bottom. But let me see how I can move this screen here. So down here, I can navigate to the second one, and I can put little notes on for the kids. So it's breakfast time and what we're doing for the week. And this usually stays the same. It has my schedule on the left-hand side, and it's got the clock on the left-hand side because, some kids cannot read the analog clock, so they need the digital. So, but I go to my second slide, and it should pull up my magnetic slides. And these are the exact Google slides that we have that came from the district, and they are embedded into Classroomscreen. And then I can just go in here, and you can see this square here, and this will move my slides. If you have a clicker on our new lines, I have to add the USB to the new line, and then I can use my clicker, and then I can go ahead and just click from one slide to the other, and I don't have to be, up on front of the board doing this. But I have all my slides right here. I like it because, everything's just handy. I, have a little magnetic journal, what the students need. If I need to call on someone, I have that option too, where it's got a name caller. I don't have to be going to another app somewhere else or pulling out sticks from somewhere else. I can just have everything here. Those are the, some of the handy tools. And then I have my timer, because we are on time constraints. Your magnetic has to be 45 minutes. Your blended learning has to be 60 minutes. So I start the timer. The kids already know. If they're helping me, okay, start the timer, stop the timer. And when I go to another slide, so after I'm done with my magnetic at 8:30 in the morning, or whatever time I'm done, I go to my next thing on my agenda, and that's our blended learning. So in here, I also have my slides from Google. I have my small group rotations, and I color-coded them by my iReady group. That's their path, their teacher assigned. And this is done, all of these slides are in my Google Drive. They're Google slides, but I embed them into this Classroomscreen. And this stays the same. It's locked. I don't have to mess with it. And then I can just go to my next group, and we start the timer, and the students know, it's your computer is your magnetic book. And then I just, they just go on to the next one, and we restart the timer. Go to my next one and restart the timer. And I can add pictures to it. I can add videos. I can change backgrounds. But this is how I pretty much set up my day. And this is my view. If you're in the lower grades, this is my reading, and it's 45 minutes. If I need to call on a student to ask questions, or, just calling on a student, I have I have it set up again. Every slide has it because it's handy, and I don't call on the same student over and over again. And you can set it up to where the name is deleted or the name stays. So I'll show you how to do that. And then I put in a picture of what their journal looks like, because they're going to need their reading journal. I always include an extra one, and I'll show you why I include an extra one in a little bit, because sometimes we do something extra that's not part of our district curriculum. So I might want to do a collaborative group work, and I have that extra slide already ready for me to embed some things in there, like maybe a rubric, maybe a group work, my groups. So that's pretty much how I use it. So slides on the bottom, I've got my grammar, timer, the kids, their journal. This stays the same. I change my background depending on the month, depending on the season. I've got my math lessons ready to go, and it's 60 minutes. And I can also add other clocks if I need to, and I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. My rotations, my social studies, and my science. And maybe okay, sometimes it takes a little bit to load, but maybe I did not load it up, or it's loading slowly. But let me go to another slide, and let me tell you what you can find. So Classroomscreen comes with their own backgrounds. You don't have to have your own, and all your handy tools are down here at the bottom. So this is for your background. If you want to change the background, you click on the backgrounds, and you can just, they have their own. Sometimes I don't like them very busy, so I upload my own backgrounds, something that I've feel, is more with what's more with me. Because, yes, these are beautiful pictures, beautiful backgrounds. They're great for a writing prompt. You can add little stickers. What do you think this llama is saying right there, Um, so backgrounds are here. You can do a randomizer, which is what I was doing with my students. So there, it's right here, and I'm going to go into that one because this is one that I use a lot. And you can go into your settings and you can choose your list. And I have one by different, and actually you can do several randomizers. You can add one for boys, and I just have all my boys in there. I can also do another one, maybe nouns and verbs. Well, that one just changed it, but if I move it somewhere else, I can add nouns. If you want it, nouns and verbs, and you can just have two of them if you want them to create sentences. So, make a sentence with the word run and, nouns and verbs or numbers, or you can do a whole bunch of things with these randomizers. So you're not just, you don't have to stick to just the students. You have the sound level. Now I use this when the students are working in groups, and you can change the sensitivity to it. And you can have them in every slide or on just one or two slides. It's your choice. And you can have a whole bunch of these widgets here. You have an image if you want to upload one of your images. And I upload a whole bunch of stuff. So you do need to, have, they all stay there. So if I have some backgrounds that I've already used, they're there. I can add my own images. You can add GIFs. If you want to, you can add clip art that you found. You can add, this is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. What is your opinion of snow? You can add anything that you want. So I usually, like on my reading slide, I was telling you that I leave a blank one, or even in my grammar, we do a lot of group work, and we like to add some rubrics in there that we create in second grade. And we let the kids, the kids see this. They have it on paper, but everything's up on the screen. We have a timer. We have, their expectations. We have, if we're looking at if we want them to use a bubble map, we also add that in there. So sometimes if you got to move it around and not have it active, or you're going to lose your image, but it's all there. So let me add something else, like your job roles. And you can just get rid of it remove it with the trash can. You can add text. And that's something that it's like in every program. You can change the font, you can change the color, you can lock your screen so that they don't move. And they have a little lock right here, and then it highlights it in yellow all the way around, and it's locked. And then I can't move it. I have to unlock it in order to move it. In my settings, I can add this. So I can, well, I'm going to remove that, but you can add these to every screen, showing all the screens. So if you have 20 screens, you can add the noise level to 20 screens. You can add the text features. You can add the calendar, whatever you have, you can just get it ready for 20 screens, and you can send it back. You can send it to the front. This is just the normal, that's in all our programs. I like this one, the group maker, because I have all my students. I choose my list of students, and I want 4 groups. I want two groups, and it will just create my groups. I can say I want 6 groups and shuffle, and I will get 6 groups of students. And you can also color code them. You can lock. What I like about this is that I can lock certain students to be like the leaders in a group. So say, for example, I want Grayson to stay in here, and I want Andre to stay in here, and I want Ezra to stay in here. So then when I shuffle them again, they will stay in those groups, but other students can come in with them. And this is really helpful, when you're looking at, grouping your students by high, medium, low. This helps out a lot. If you don't like the blue color, you can always change it in your settings. You can change it. And that's for all the other widgets that they have here. So let me get out of here in your group maker, and I'm going to just kind of delete it or put it on the side. You have a traffic light. I don't use the traffic light much. Second graders, they talk all the time, even if you put the red light on or the yellow light, they're going to keep on chatting. They're pretty chatty. And you have some more widgets over here that you can add. You can embed a video. You can have dice for math if you need them. And I believe they have other things here. They have, like, if you're working with +4, if you, in math, if you would just, 10 + 4 or 17 + 4, and then it'll shuffle it again. So, just, what I've done is I've just played with it for the last couple of months. You have a webcam. Now, it only picks up my camera. I've seen on TikToks and some other sites where you can embed your document camera if you're showing something, and you can have it also on your classroom screen. Our new line and our new laptops, that just doesn't work. I've tried every other way and different connections, and it doesn't work. And I'm hoping that pretty soon we can get that, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. You can have a visual timer. You can have your calendar. If you need a calendar, you can add it. And again, all of these you can show in all the screens. Now, I wouldn't want a calendar in every screen, but you can. A stopwatch, you can have and then I just throw it in the trash. A timetable, you can write, draw, and this is what these tools are down here at the bottom. If you needed to, write, you need to erase. Sometimes if it's just something really small, you won't let you erase it, like that one. And what I have to do is just go back to my clicker there and remove it. So it's just a lot of playing with it. You can hyperlink something from YouTube. You can add stickers. So say it's someone's birthday, you can add, or you just want to jazzy up your screen, you could do that also. So I've added some stickers, played with them. You can, let's see what else they have. They have a scoreboard. We haven't played games because we're, you've got to stay on task from bell to bell. And then a clock, which I have down here, and you can change whichever clock you want in your settings. And you can add alarms, a 12-hour, 24-hour clock. So, and another timer. This is a timer that's on most of my screens. And I do not, my clocks and my timer and my group maker, I don't, I do it individually on every slide, on every classroom screen slide, because otherwise, if I start at 45 on my first one, it's going to continue on my second, third, fourth, and fifth. So every every screen has a different time or a different time. And the same thing with the group maker because, or the, not the group maker, but the group caller, you know, when you call the students. So how do I go embedding something? Well, I usually just go to my drive. Well, does anybody have any questions? Because I feel like I'm just going on.
I don't see any questions, but I love everything that you're showing us. I love that you're putting the stations by day, like you're having a screen per day for how you're doing the stuff in your classroom.
It keeps me organized, and that's what I wanted. And I know that a lot of people rely on just their Google Drive, you know, just going into their drive and having all these screens up on top. That was not working for me. And I needed, I know that in our reading, I'm just going to show you my drive, and it's kind of messy, but so say, for example, fourth marking period, and I'm going to go to the last one that we haven't gotten to this week. Our instructional slides for magnetic, Savas, and grammar were all put together in one. And that did not work for me because I needed to stop, do my blended learning, go to magnetic, then I go to lunch, come back and do grammar. So I separated everything. I broke it apart. And so this was regular Monday. So I just go in here, magnetic, and that's going to be for the last week. I go to file and I'm going to share and I'm going to publish to web. And I'm not going to link it. I need to embed and then I get a code. And I'm going to publish it. And yes, and I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to bring it back to my classroom screen. So I go to embed and I paste my code in here and then I run the code. So these are my slides that I'm going to be using from magnetic. Now, I want you to look at this. So I've got Monday resources, and I really don't need these slides. Well, I can't do anything here, but I can go back over to my magnetic. And let's go, I'm going to delete this one. I don't want it. I'm going to delete this one. I don't want it. I'm going to delete this one. I don't need it. And then I go back to my classroom screen and I can refresh and they're gone. So if you make any changes after you've already published it, and if you make any changes to your slides, they will automatically change also in your classroom screen. So as you can see down here, I don't have them anymore. They're just started back up on where I left off on week 22. I can get a YouTube video. You know how we have those really nice backgrounds for music, or, you know, like this one right here. Well, let me just get this out of the way. And sometimes I forget how I do this, but I can share. I'm going to copy. No, I'm going to embed. I'm going to copy all of this and then bring it back. And I'm just going to get another slide, but then let me show you this. And I'm going to embed this in here and run it. I can keep this and set it up as a background. Now I can send it to the back and everything's up in the front. I can continue, and I can also embed my Google Slides in here also. Everything, it'll be just one on top of the other. You know, I can go back over here to my Monday and say I'm going to publish it again. My code is here. Copy. Now, I don't have to have this very big. You know, I can make it smaller. You know, and just to have it all in one place. Sometimes, oh, let me get out of there.
That's super nice.
Okay, let me try to move this out of the way. Okay, go back over here. I'm trying to figure out how to, where are my tools? Well, let me stop it. Okay, so well, let's just throw it in the trash. Oh, you know what? It's because it's over here. That's the problem. Okay, so so these are just some of the tools. You can have a poll. I haven't done this in my classroom, but we've used it here with Ms. De Los Santos when we've had CLL meetings, TCLCs, and she'll ask us different questions, and we can just use our phone, or we can use our, our devices, and the poll will show up there, the results of the poll. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this program. And again, I use the paid version because all my stuff is here. I can go to December 1st. I can go to December 17th. What are some of the things that we did in here? My lessons are there. They were there. They're not going to erase. And sometimes when you're planning ahead, I think I'm a kind of like a linear person. I need to see first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and get to the end, and I get my lessons ready for the whole week this way. So I hope this, has, it has helped you. If you're interested in it, again, the paid version, you save your work. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $35 a year. We looked at buying it for the campus, but at the time, teachers really weren't, I guess they needed to try it out. Now, as I walk down the hallways, I see more people using it. So hopefully for next school year, our principal will, again, offer to buy it. At the beginning of the school year, there was only like 3 or 4 of us using it, and it wasn't, she was thinking, why buy it if only 3 or 4 of you are going to use it? So, but now I see more people, and hopefully she'll buy it for the whole campus. So
Cool.
I'm going to go back, and I'm not sure. I think I lost you.
No, I'm right here. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen back again real quick.
Okay.
I loved everything that you shared with us. Some of the tools, I forgot to show this slide, is the background, the polls, the randomizer, the timer, the group maker, the video, the embed, the sound level. I feel like the embed is one of the coolest ones because you can put your Google Slides in there, like you were stating. There's so much you can do with it. I love that you're grouping. I didn't know about the locking your little person in the group, so that was really cool. And if I don't know if you do this already, but do you do one for math and one for RLA blended learning groups, or you're muted?
All of my slides for the day are in one classroom screen for the day.
Okay.
So all my science is there, all my social studies, all my math, and everything's there for the day.
Okay. And you remove them and you bring them in?
No, they're there. I don't remove anything. Once I put them in there, they're there for the whole day.
Cool. Well, I don't know if you know this little trick, you can actually put them all the way to one side or to the other, and they're just there hovering until you just want to bring them in. I'll show you that later.
Okay, you're going to have to show me that.
Yeah.
And you know what I also like was that so if it's, Valentine's theme or February, and my background's going to stay the same, or I want to change it, but for the week it's going to be the same. All you have to do is just duplicate that slide for the day, and then you just go delete your slides for Monday and add your slides for Tuesday. And your slide, your language arts, your grammar, your math, your science, your social studies. And then you duplicate your workspace again. And then you have your Wednesday and you have your Thursday and then your Friday.
So you do these weekly, like you prepare
I do mine
your
weekly.
weekly.
Yes,
Perfect.
I do
I
mine
love
weekly. And if I have time, sometimes I can get ahead 2 or 3 weeks. Like that was my goal for the weekend, but Super Bowl and whatever didn't give me that.
Yeah. And again, I'm like you stated, Josie, this is not necessarily free, the version that you were saying. The only difference is like if you close your screen on your computer and you have the free version, you're going to lose your screen. But if you have your screen open and leave it open, if you don't have to do an update from the device, then you should still keep it on, even if you still have your computer on, even if it's asleep. As long as you don't turn off or close that tab on Chrome. Thank you so much. What an amazing job. Thank you, Lori, for joining us as well. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is one of the amazing tools that I feel like Ford is doing and using. I know that a bunch of the teachers are doing this and they bought it themselves. And hopefully this will be something that your campus will decide maybe to use monies to purchase for y'all. That's it. Is there any questions for Josie? Ms. Botanda, do you have any questions for Josie, for Lori? And if not, thank you so much for coming. It's already 5:02, 2 minutes after. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.